Hey y'all, my name is Sarah and I love to talk about movies, and today we're just going to jump right into it and talk about Renfield. Renfield, if you're not familiar, is Dracula's familiar. Renfield is Dracula's familiar. He's in the original story by Bram Stoker. He's kind of like a key figure in a lot of the Dracula movies. Dracula is one of my favorite books, of course, top 10 books of all time. A familiar is someone who is not a ghoul exactly, but he's not a vampire. He's Dracula's daytime servant. So his job is to lure victims to Dracula, and he's sustained by eating bugs and pests. He's a pitiful sort of character, and I knew that going into the story. I did see The Last Voyage of the Demeter and the Dracula miniseries on Netflix, so I am pretty Dracula'd up. It's modern day New Orleans, of all places. And Renfield, he's been tasked with finding more victims for Dracula. Dracula is in the middle of like a healing period after a attack by vampire hunters went hilariously awry. And so he's in a bar in New Orleans and he thinks that he's found some fresh victims when people try to rob the place, and he sort of springs into action, kills the bad guys, saves everybody else, and they're, patting him on the back, saying their thanks, and he's being called a hero. And that is his defining moment to decide to try and separate himself from Dracula. He's been going to support meetings for people who are in toxic relationships. It's very coded, but he's basically sharing his experiences there and getting support there emotionally from them. And after that event, he decides that he is going to be the good guy. He is going to be the hero. So he decides to start taking out some of the other participants, toxic bosses, toxic boyfriends, toxic whoever, to help them. That puts him on the radar of a notorious drug dealing family that are based in New Orleans, the Lobos. After he kills a couple people rather violently, they start looking for him. And at the same time, Dracula becomes aware of his absence. In the meantime, Renfield has got his own apartment, he's making friends, he's, buying new clothes and all these things, and he's starting to live his life separately and share more about his past until Dracula shows up and basically does everything that he can to separate Renfield from these new modern distractions in his life. Dracula ends up becoming connected with the drug dealing family, the Lobos. He ends up getting into contact with them when they come looking for Renfield. He decides to make one of them another familiar, and for that person to lead him to the leader of the gang. Renfield and his newfound friend, Rebecca, who's a cop, she was there when he prevented that robbery at the bar. Both are lured into going to the Lobos headquarters. They show up, Dracula is there, the trap is sprung, there's a huge confrontation, and at the end, Dracula is defeated. So the story ends with Renfield in yet another support group meeting. Everyone is alive and well. The camera sort of pans to the table where normally, there's coffee and donuts and snacks and things. And there's a picture and it says Dracula's blood on it. And that's how the movie ends. So I skipped over a lot. There's still plenty to enjoy and be surprised by. It's Nicolas Cage playing Dracula, so of course it's over the top and dramatic, and I love the production value that they put into everything. You see these clips that are like these black and white grainy clips from like the first, to mimic I suppose the first Dracula movie with Bela Lugosi. I do not drink wine, iconic lines like that, which I thought was a surprising detail. And then You see events from Dracula's past and Renfield's past, like him defending him or coming to his rescue. I like that we included that, adds more context. It also explains things without explaining things. Like how well Renfield is able to wield his strength and speed, and that he's an effective warrior. Where does that come from? We're shown and told. I appreciate all of those flashbacks to the past. There's a teensy bit of emotional connection. You feel for Rebecca, whose father got by the Lobos. You feel for her sister, who is this is not the way to get the revenge. The revenge would be for them to go to jail for their crimes. And Rebecca's there's no way to do that. Everybody's in their pocket, but she's just so angry and passionate about it. And people don't like her. That is relatable and funny. The violence is violence, you guys. It's really just splash, blood, heads flying, bodies split. So somebody got kicked in the crotch and the image changed to X-ray, so you could see that stuff came out of here and there at the same time. It's gross. Essentially, it's really gross, violent movie. When somebody's arms get ripped off and then they get beat to death with them, and then somebody else gets speared with said same arm. Yeah, we're there. But it is fun. It's fun. It's entertaining. But I would give Renfield a 2 out of 5. I like how colorful it was. I like the surprising details from the past. But again, y'all know my thing. I need more character development. I wish that we could have seen more parts of New Orleans. I mean, we got to see a bar, and we got to see the police station, the Lobos headquarters, Dracula's lair, but we didn't really get to see parts of the city. So I guess that could have been the point. New Orleans is such an iconic city, and it's not like you picked Pleasant Falls, Ohio, or some random place, So that would have been cool. But yeah, would I recommend it? Yeah. Hour, 30 minutes to watch. Funny, weird. Sure. But you guys let me know what you think. Thank you so much for spending your time here with me. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you all next time.